Hi everyone, Tim the Plane Man here with a warning. So we're continuing to work on the Dancing Wing Sopwith Pup, and I'm going to insert this little warning right in to the build instructions so you can see the complete fuselage here, and I'm throwing this step ahead right at a part where you need to be very careful with the plan. So what you should have just built would have been step one: install the mounting base for the motor and power system, and then insert it into what's called the head frame. So the head frame now sits inside the model here, and the mounting base you can see in here, which is what you've just finished building. So installing the mounting base into the head frame there's a really important thing that you need to get right now, and not so you don't make the same mistake that I did. And what that is that this mounting, this power, what do they call it? It's a mounting base for the power system. It needs to be removable. That's hence the screws. So 1, 2, 3, 4 screws can be removed so that you can access all of the electronics, which according to the instructions get installed a little bit later on. The trick is that there are also 2 screws, and I'm going to pop open the little flap here that we built, that you'll see later on how we build the hatch that goes in the bottom. And if you have a look in here, right inside there are 2 little screws that hold the back end of this power frame, this mounting base for the power system. So the power system here, and the head frame around there, and then 2 little screws that go in the back there. Now what you need to make sure of, be very careful of, is to get the screws the right way up. What I have done is I've installed the screws at the wrong end. You possibly can't really see that in there, but what you can see is the bottom of the screws, the pointy part of the screws, and the head of the screws is in here. If you had installed, and if you follow the instructions, and they're as I can see, they're very, very fine, but there's one step in the install mounting base for the motor and power system. There's this is the instructions you'll be following. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then when it comes to putting those second set of screws in at the far end of the power frame here, it's turned upside down, and the screws are going in from the bottom. That is very, very important that the screws go in from the bottom, so that when you get to this point, you have access to the screws from here. So be very, very careful to make sure. And I'll film another section. I'm going to take this thing out. I've got a I'm going to have to figure out how to get those screws out. Honestly, worst case, I may actually have to cut a hole in here to get to them. But that's, hopefully I'm stopping you guys from making this mistake, so you won't have to do that. But I'm going to remove the screws, and then I'll show you how they need to be put in correctly before you continue on with the rest of the build. So heads up.